Travel and tourism industry in Holland is important to Dutch economy. Three major sector travel and tourism have comprised of Holland economy, which is domestic, inbound and outbound tourism. Holland generate about 25.85 billion in the tourism industry, equivalent to 2.8% of gross domestic product and about 12% of all international tourism revenues in Western Europe. However, in year 2020, Holland tourism industry were affected by the pandemic COVID-19. As the result, the Holland city went from an average of approximately 55,000 visitors a day to almost zero visitors.
Want ik heb vanavond geen gemakkelijke boodschap voor u. De realiteit is dat het coronavirus onder ons is en voorlopig ook onder ons zal blijven. Is dat we in afwachting van een vaccin of medicijn de verspreiding van het virus kunnen afremmen en tegelijkertijd gecontroleerd groepsimmuniteit op kunnen bouwen.
Inbound tourism in the Netherlands has grown significantly in recent decades from 13.9 million in 2014 to 15 million in 2015, 15.8 million in 2016, and 16.3 million in 2017. The number of inbound visitors unexpectedly rose to 19 million in 2018 before reaching a new peak of 20.1 million in 2019. This figure demonstrates that prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, Holland's inbound tourism production was excellent and was improving year after year. Majority of tourists visiting Holland for vacation and business purposes came from Germany, Belgium, and United States. However, the coronavirus pandemic has turned Holland tourism and hospitality sector upside down. The number of inbound tourists expected to drop to only 7 million in 2020. After the pandemic attacks, Holland had a major effect on tourism, with international tourist arrivals down by 98% in April 2020 compared to the same month in 2019. Moving to outbound perspective, before the pandemic COVID-19 attacks, Holland recorded a significant growth of outbound tourism flows from 18,623 in 2012 to 18,093 in 2013. In 2014, the number slightly dropped to 17,933 but managed to rise to 18,070 in 2015. Therefore, the number was dropped to 17,938 in 2016. With 13 million people in Holland, 82% of the Dutch population has started to travel to the countries of the Dream brand at least once every year. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Holland has imposed strict measures to combat the virus. Traveling abroad become restricted unless for important and essential journey. Outbound tourism are expected to decrease tremendously in 2020. As the statistic shows, total flights number in Dutch airports decreasing dramatically in January 2020 until February 2021. The worst number was recorded during that time was in April and May 2020, only 6,093 and 8,781. From the figures, it is predicted that outbound tourism in Holland will likely take some time to recover. Moving on to domestic tourism. The statistic displays domestic tourism in Holland in 2017, with a forecast for 2030. The number of domestic tourists in the Holland was just under 25 million in 2017. Over the coming years, the number of domestic tourists in Holland traveling for both business and leisure purposes was forecast to increase by roughly 5 million tourists, to approximately 30 million visitors. In 2018, approximately 88% of Dutch tourists traveling domestically used cars to reach their tourist destinations. Furthermore, as many as 6% of Dutch tourists use train transportation to travel, with another 6% using land transportation or water transportation, such as taxis, buses, and ferries, to reach their domestic tourist destinations. Even though during this ongoing pandemic period, domestic tourism in Holland are expected to grow better because current main focus will be on local residents and neighboring cities for visits.
Focus on residents. We shifted our experience your city, your own city, into how to experience your city at home during Corona time. And we really want to claim our city back as locals. Locals really live here because they love the culture, because they love the great restaurants, because they love all these different areas, and because they love the extreme diverse combination of people that live, work, and visit here.
Holland needs to restore the tourism sector due to the importance of the tourism industry will affect the economics of country. While the tourism is declining, the income of the country also declining. If these conditions is continued, the country will suffer in tourism industry. The small business which focused in tourism will be closed, and even after the COVID-19 situation is restored, the business may not be restored.